I love to make strawberry jam, but there have been some times where I've gone to make strawberry jam and realized that I had no pectin. So let me show you how I would do it if I had no pectin. So I would start out with 8 cups of pureed strawberries. You could do mashed strawberries too, but sometimes it's just easier to throw it in the blender. The nice thing about doing it in the blender is that you throw a bunch in, blend it down, throw a bunch in, blend it down, and you can just kind of check as you go. The whole mashing thing, that seems like it takes so much more time. Then I'll add 6 cups of sugar. And unlike the pectin jam, you add that right away. And there's also significantly less sugar compared to the fruit. And then I add in about a half a teaspoon of butter, and that's just to keep the foam down. And that is seriously all the ingredients that are required. At this point, I'll take this to the stove, bring it up to a good boil, and I'll keep checking it with my thermometer because I actually want to get it to the gelling point. The gelling point is 220 degrees if you're at sea level. For every 1,000 degrees above sea level, you drop the temperature by 2 degrees. So I'm at 1,200 feet, so 218 degrees is what I want this jam to be at. Every time I make this jam, I'm reminded of why I like pectin so much. It just takes forever to get to that gelling point. It seems to hang out at like 214 for a really long time for me. Now I'll fill my pint-sized jars up to 1/4 of an inch of headspace, which is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. It really does have some nice color to it. Gets just a little bit darker when I make it this way, probably because all of the cooking down. I then use a clean damp cloth to wipe off the edge of the jar so that there's no interference with the seal. I then place on the lids and rings fingertip tight. And everything is nice and hot, so I have to be careful not to burn my fingers. Then I'll process these in the boiling water bath for 15 minutes if I'm at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so it's gonna be 20. Now that it's come to a nice rolling boil, I'll set the timer. With the timer done, I'll remove the lid, turn off the heat, and let it cool for 5 minutes. I then remove my jars from the canner and place them on a heat-resistant surface about 1 to 2 inches apart so they can cool quickly. I'll leave them there for about 24 hours until they have a really nice seal. After that point, I'll remove the ring and use hot soapy water to wash off the jars and then store them in a cool, dry, dark location and eat them in the next 1 to 3 years. Oh, it's a really good texture. That's the big thing for me with the no pectin jams, is just making sure that the texture's good. And it tastes good. It's definitely a little bit different flavor than one of the jams that has a pectin. It's a little more cooked flavor, I suppose would be the way to put it. But when you don't have any pectin, it's a great way to do it.